years, um, which is hard to believe. It's flown by just like that. But we do have mentors for level 1, level 2, and level 3. So if you have any questions, we strongly encourage you to reach out to these mentors. They most recently just went through that level, and certainly are there to ask any questions you may have, provide any guidance. Um, so certainly use those. Thank you to the mentors that are on this call. We appreciate you volunteering and assisting like you do. So also want to welcome our new career consultant on this call. Some of the board members have met Jackie. Jackie Madison is on the call. She's our new career consultant. So uh, any questions you may have, I know that there's quite a few job openings in the Iowa section. If you have any questions on those, resume writing, interviewing tips, anything like that, by all means, please reach out to Jackie or myself. Um, part of this association is obviously seeing growth and obviously helping you to move on as a professional, and whatever we can do to assist, that's what we're here for. So with that being said, just kind of want to talk to everybody. This alignment call, if you would, is kind of talking about building relationships as an assistant, and the importance of that. Building a network, the importance of that. I think Erin Strick is on this call. I'll probably rely on her a little bit. I see Greg Mason is on this call. Of course, myself, I'll talk about it. But I'm actually probably going to turn this over to Erin Strick a little bit and ask her and kind of see what advice that she would provide to our associates when you talk about, as you were coming up through the ranks, Erin, um, any advice you would give, as to what you learned and what you kind of provide to your associates and you have over the last couple of years.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the call. I would say for me, it was don't be afraid to ask questions. There's a lot that goes into being a golf professional. There's a lot of moving parts in what we do. And don't be ashamed or shy about asking questions. How do I do this? And most of you have excellent mentors and head golf professionals that you work for that, are there to help you along your path. Mike and I just had a great conversation with a level 1 associate, and we said that we were there for him, to guide him through every step of what it takes to be a member. And again, just don't be afraid to ask the questions. There's so much that you can learn, and honestly, I rely on the associates that work for me because, I'm not this golf professional that knows the answer to every single question and what is the best way to do absolutely everything. That I don't function like that. If you come and you work for Mike and myself, we're a team, period. And whatever you can bring to the table, if there's a different way that you think something can be done and it's more effective and more efficient, I want you to tell us that. I want your opinion on absolutely everything. So don't be afraid to share. To me, it was, I was never afraid to ask a question because guess what? You don't know what you don't know. So just ask the question. I hope that makes sense.
No, that's great advice. And everybody in this call, once again, the part of this is creating mentors, and Erin is a phenomenal mentor. Use myself, use Greg Mason, use anybody here. We're all in this together, and if you read the kind of the topic, or if you listen to the podcast, a lot of this was, how to build your network. And if you think about this is our network on this call right here. So, and it just starts here, with our Assistants Association and those in Iowa. But, how do you build your network? So I think you have to ask ask yourself the question too, who do you want your network to be? How do you want this network to be, right? And so Um, when we talk about networking and building relationships as an associate, I can talk about some of my experiences. I was fortunate to work at, gosh, 3 different facilities, all through the Carolinas and South Florida. I still use these connections to this day. So I've kept that network open. They've opened a lot of doors for me. Um, and just be mindful that every day you have the opportunity to add to that network, to build to that network, and utilize these people. But most importantly, make sure you keep in contact with these people. So, you don't want it to be 3 or 4 years out, and then all of a sudden you ask somebody for a favor. Try to engage. I would social media. You can text, you can email, you can Facebook, you can do something. That's engaging. That's still keeping up with your network. So as you build your network as an associate, hopefully become a Class A professional and start your career, just keep that network. Just keep building, keep everybody engaged. Um, like I said, I'm proud of my network. It's allowed me to open a lot of doors. It's allowed me to open a lot of doors for associates and professionals I do know, um, which has been phenomenal. So very, very proud of that. The other advice I would give you, and I'm going to turn this over to Mason if he's still on, um, treat every day like an interview. Okay, so whether you realize this or not, when you're working, eyes are on you, right? And so I was always taught we kind of live in a glass door, glass house. We kind of do, whether that's good or bad. People are watching what you do every day. And some of the people that you may not even realize are watching can open up a door down the road. So use every day as almost like an interview. I mean, you're being watched, good and bad, but take that and run with it and make that a positive thing. Um, Greg, do you have anything that you would add to that? In your years of being a golf professional, director of golf, owner, and all of your uh, associates and professionals you've moved on.
No, Mike, I wouldn't add anything. What you did is really good. So I'm like you, just keep your options open. I know Aaron Strick had a great mentor, and Mike Nedelkoff, that's probably one of our great golf professionals that I wish was still around a little bit more. But again, I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, and I tell you, Greg has been awesome in allowing me to keep my network open too. Just recently, I went down to Naples and played in an event, and he understands the importance of that. And in doing that, I was able to be around probably 40 of, I'm going to say, some of the top professionals in the country. And so, what does that do for us? Well, that allows me to be around them so I can promote what we're doing in the Iowa section. And who knows, maybe we have somebody who wants to go work in Florida, who wants to go work in New York or South Carolina or Georgia. I now have that network or connection that maybe we can make that happen. So the importance of keeping that network alive. And thank you, Greg, for allowing me to be able to do that. So that means a lot. Jackie, any words of advice that you would provide for our colleagues on this call? Anything that you see or any advice you'd like to give?
Well, I certainly think that you and Greg and Aaron have hit the nail on the head so far. The big thing that I would say is get involved. Get involved in your section. Get involved in your assistants association. Play in some tournaments. To create a network of people, you have to know people outside of the facility where you work. And there's really not a way to do that if you don't take a step and get involved. So just learn continuously as well. So you can always learn something. But I think you just can't underestimate the importance of participating in your section events and your tournaments. And I can give you an example. Several years ago, when I was the head golf professional, the real estate development company that had owned the club had announced that we were going to close. And both my assistants were able to move on to jobs. One of them in particular, I had people calling left and right because he was very active in section tournaments. They knew his personality. They knew him, they knew him to be a good player for one, but not necessarily so important. They knew him to be the kind of person that could develop relationships and take care of customers and have an easygoing manner. So they could see him fitting well on their team. Now, if he had not done those types of things and made those types of connections, he would have been on the other side trying to call people instead of having people call me asking if it was okay to talk to him or bring him in for an interview, which of course, my response is yes. But, when you do those things and people know you, they can start to see you as a part of their team. And so when there's an opening at their facility and they have that connection, your phone rings instead of you having to solicit those job interviews and those offers yourself. So that would be my 2 cents to add to what you've already said.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie. That's great advice. Were you able to listen to that podcast that we put in as an attachment? Were many of you able to listen to that? For some reason, I'm not seeing everybody on the screen. Let me go over this way. Is that something that you guys enjoyed? I know, Jackie, if you want to kind of touch on that. I know Jason and a couple of guys have done a phenomenal job in doing that podcast. And it's an easy way to kind of get a message out for when people want to listen at their own time, if you would. So that's certainly something that we can pass along in these calls. And going forward, we'll probably start the calls back up in the fall. I think our focus will be the next couple of months to maybe do something like what we just sent out with maybe words of advice, a podcast that's attached, a best practice, what somebody's doing at their facility, and kind of put a spotlight on our associates and let them kind of talk about some cool stuff that they're doing. And once again, to keep it engaged. But we'll keep those podcasts going. Jackie, anything that you get like that, please pass along so we can give it to our associates.
Absolutely.
They can listen. Yeah, absolutely. Mike Arms, anything you'd like to add to this?
It's definitely, when I talk to young people and I mention that I consider it sowing seeds, because you never know where that seed is going to grow, where that person you just gave a lesson to, or whether you've met them outside of the golf arena. You don't know where that's going to come. That person may become a mentor, a boss, a friend. So always, go into a relationship giving instead of taking, because sooner or later you may need something and they're going to be willing to give that to you. So always try to keep from burning bridges and try to keep building those bridges as well. But always be mindful that that seed is going to grow.
That's great advice. I just finally got all of you back on one screen. I literally was only seeing one person. I'm like, what's going on here? So now we can rock and roll. So technology and me are not it's crazy. I need a lesson with it. Brian Coods, what's going on down Spirit Hollow way? How are you guys doing down there? I think you might be on mute. There you are, buddy.
Yeah, me and that technology. I'm with you. No, things are good down here. Finally starting to warm up a little bit, get some of the snow off the ground. But I think my biggest piece of advice and what I took from that article, I had emailed you about it, is there's so many more different ways to grow relationships and kind of grow those partnerships with people other than playing golf. And people have got to be kind of thinking outside the box how to do it, especially now as, budgets get a little tighter and staffs get smaller, that 4 to 8 hours a week isn't always there to go play golf. And so if it's 5 minutes walking the range or anything we can do to get from outside the counter or behind the counter, so there's not that barrier that the members or the customers see, in between us, is really going to help kind of build those relationships and, you just never know what that next relationship's going to lead to or who that person becomes. And so they said always put that smile on your face and think outside the box.
No, absolutely. That's great advice. I was always taught and continue to teach kind of two rules, and they're real simple, but man, do they make the biggest difference in the world. One, make sure you see everybody that day. It could just be a brief, hey, how are you? Shaking your hands, riding the course, range, golf shop, wherever. Make sure you see everybody that day. And two, always know where they are. Pretty simple, right? I mean, that doesn't take a lot of effort. It's just paying attention as to what's going on that day, right? So I would pass those two rules on. Try to implement that if you don't already, and talk about building a network. You see everybody. They'll notice that. That means a lot. That means a lot. So that's my 2 cents of advice that I'd give you. David Sutton, are you on the call?
I am.
There you are. I just got an email from you. So
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. Lay it on us, my man.
I got nothing. I'm just enjoying listening.
Okay. All right. How are you guys doing in Cedar Rapids? What's new there?
Oh, we're good. Just a lot of snow. It's starting to melt, but we're excited to get going and start some of the projects we got going on here with the course and facilities. So hopefully early spring, but not too early.
Are you guys working on your indoor teaching area?
That'll start right about early April.
Okay.
Once they can kind of dig into the ground and everything. And then we got some stuff on the course from the storm that we got a pretty big project that we're doing, some redesign. So we're excited, but there'll be a lot going on here in the next couple of years.
That's good. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I think we all have. I think we're all excited about this upcoming year. I think this winter, as much needed, we're ready for it to be over. I mean, I think everybody was looking forward to about a 3-4 week break, just to kind of recharge the batteries. And then it just seemed like, you have a polar vortex and snow on the ground longer than I think records, if you will, in some areas. And so I think everybody's eager to get back to the golf course. With that being said, there's 2 other things I kind of want to bring up on this call. And I don't know if you've seen it yet. It will be going out on our weekly emails. It'll be going out Monday, and that is our Associates Only Teaching Summit. So this is a phenomenal opportunity for you to be able to work side by side with Brian Haas, who's the director of golf at Blue Top Ridge, and Luke Dona, who's the lead instructor at Cedar Rapids Country Club. So Brian is going to work with our associates on TrackMan, how to teach off of TrackMan, what you're looking for. And then Luke is going to talk about, the structure of a golf lesson, how to give a golf lesson from start to finish. So, fantastic opportunity and hands-on training from 2 very, very, very talented individuals. And the idea for this teaching and coaching summit is to take place every year and then obviously rotate. So, for example, next year we could be in Des Moines. We could be with Mark Egler, who's one of the all-time teachers, or we could be at Wakanda with Sarah Bindi. So we're going to shift these around. Once again, the idea is for our associates to have hands-on training and education, but also to be able to network and get advice and create mentors with some of the industry and section leaders that we have. So encourage you to sign up for that. That is on our PGA section website. So if you go to members and then you click under, there's an apprentice tab. all that information is right there. Once again, it'll be sent out in emails as well. For those that are pre-qualifiers who are not necessarily registered as an apprentice, call the section office. Jazz actually took one yesterday. We can help those individuals get through. It's a little tricky, but we'll just pretty much pre-register and then send a link. Just because Blue Golf needs, I guess, the PGA number, if you would. So there are ways that we can get around that. But we are advertising this to associates only and pre-qualifier soon to be associates. So we're looking forward to that. Mike Arms, do you want to mention anything to our associates on this call right now about upcoming board and what we're looking to fill maybe for 2022 and beyond?
Absolutely. We are in, I guess, need of some more board members because we're going to be coming up on 2 years. So we need additional names. So it's not a huge amount of time that you would be giving up to do this, but we do need more active board members, as well as we also need a secretary as Bailey is stepping aside. So we need some names. So get a hold of me, get a hold of Mike, get a hold of Aaron, or Davis, any of the board members. If you're not presently on the board and you want to be a part of it, if you want to be considered for secretary, the same thing, because we've really put this together and done a lot of work to make this successful, and we are in need of talent to go forward from here. My tenure as president ends this year, so we are, and Davis will be stepping up, so we are in need of some more talent. So I'd encourage you to get a hold of one of us and to step forward.
And really, don't be intimidated by the time commitment to this. And this was actually brought up in a board meeting we just were on 30 minutes ago. A lot of our meetings are Zoom meetings. But really, we have the groundwork already pretty much paved, if you would. We're just kind of keeping everything moving forward. So we have some awesome stuff going, like we talked about the Teaching and Coaching Summit. We have a District 8 challenge that we're going to hopefully roll out to everybody here soon, which is going to be really cool. I know Davis has been huge in trying to get that moving as well. So education opportunities. Once again, we want to hear from you as to what you need from us to make you more successful, right? So really cool stuff we're doing here in the section. Certainly encourage you to be a part of it. But the time commitment is not nearly what you think it would be. Okay, so just be mindful of that. We do have somebody new on the call who is kind of new to our association, if you would. So Hogan, congratulations and thank you for joining us. Hogan works for Matt Sherlock at Edmondson, so he's going to be getting into the program. He just recently passed his PAT, and you just took the qualifying test, or getting ready to take the qualifying test?
Yeah, I took my qualifying test in January. I actually just started on my level 1 stuff yesterday. So all the payments went through for that, just kind of getting started on all that good stuff. So yeah, I look forward to getting to know all you guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Welcome.
Congratulations. I feel bad for you. No, Matt Sherlock is the bomb. He is an absolutely awesome person, and you couldn't work for anybody better, in my opinion. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but don't tell him I said that.
I won't.
I think you guys have another one, Matthew Jennings, right? Is he? Yeah, he's kind of right in the same boat that you are, right?
Yeah, I think he just took his stuff. Either it's coming up in the next week or so, or just took it last week.
Awesome. Well, once again, welcome, congratulations, and like we mentioned, we're here to help you however we can. Reach out. it's a network that's pretty cool. So please utilize it as needed. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
yeah, no, absolutely. Tyler Christians, what's going on in Des Moines? You guys got any snow on the ground still, or
Still got a lot of snow. Yes. Just trying to get caught up, but yeah, things are going well.
yeah?
Just trying to get that book work done, which seems to be the challenge for quite everybody.
Yeah. When are you
Level
scheduled
three.
to finish level 3?
I have about 55% done in my portfolio. I'm still in level 2.0, so I don't know how much it's changed. But I've got lessons scheduled on the book, and hopefully film those and get it submitted to the PGA. So
Okay.
we got to get it going. I was just curious if anybody had any really good techniques to getting stuff done, and because that's the toughest part when you get in season. You just keep having stuff pile up, and you keep pushing it off.
I'm in that same boat,
Done.
Tyler.
Okay, I'm glad I'm
What's working for me right now is just picking a time. If you have 2 to 4 open, just work as much as you can on that time and try to do it every day. And I've pretty much doubled the amount I've been able to get done. So hopefully I'll get done by. I'm aiming to be done with my portfolio and stuff by the mid-March. So.
And Tyler, if you need any help, I did graduate 2.0, so I remember it only a couple of years ago, and that. So reach out if you need any help.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing how much it changes. I mean, Aaron Strick, what were we, like 1.0 or 0.5 or 0.00?
Yeah, well, when I did it, I was in Houston, Texas, Portland, Oregon, California. I mean, I was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
We actually had floppy disks, stuff that most of
Yeah.
you on this call probably don't even know what a floppy disk is. Yeah, that's how we turned all of our stuff, and that's how we did all of our paperwork.
Yeah, I remember when you had to fly somewhere, you had to ship your stuff home because you came out of there with 2 massive moving boxes of all these hard binders. Oh my.
Yeah.
I was with you there, Aaron.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was, yeah.
Here's a shake a stick at.
So
I still have some of those, I still look at those from time to time. It's all valuable information. Obviously, a lot of the coaching, teaching, club fitting, stuff like that has evolved. I mean, we actually had in our books, like how to whip a wooden driver. I mean, now that's an art form to be able to do that, but yeah.
What's the
Not
wood
that you have to
driver?
worry about that anymore.
I thought I would never get through that part. The
Yeah.
club section where I had to whip a wooden driver.
Yeah. We're not that
I remember
old.
sitting in the budgeting of level 2, and I was like there for 2 hours on this test, and my head was going, I mean, I was just like, what the heck is going on?
David Lawrence, thanks for joining. How you doing, buddy? You on it, D-Law?
Hey, I'm doing great. I just finished up with a lesson, guys. Sorry I'm a little late, but I wanted to pop in and say hi.
Ah, good for you. So yeah, you guys have a simulator at Davenport now, so you're giving some lessons?
We do have the simulator. Been doing a lot there, and I'm actually down in Florida right now.
Oh, even better.
Yep.
Are you playing much?
A little bit. We're still things are still kind of strange in terms of tournaments, so just practicing as much as I can and teaching a lot.
Good for you. Good for you. How? Where are you? You're in level 1 right now, right?
I am, yes.
Okay. Is that going okay? Any questions?
It's going pretty well. I'm actually trying to get through it, as quickly as possible. And the one thing that I actually have a call set up with the mentor line because I have some pictures and videos from last year's events, specifically the Junior Club Championship. And in the tournament operations part, we have to run an event, and I'm trying to see if I can use that.
Any advice there? Anybody who's gone through 3.0? Jacob?
I've done that before. So I started in 2.0 and went over to 3, but
Right.
I did that for lessons. We had kind of an interesting thing going on there where I had previously taped some lessons and I didn't tape it outside. They let me use the ones that I did inside, and then I also had a couple in events like you were saying. We had a ladies event that we planned like 4 months prior, and I was able to use that. So I would double check with them, but usually as long as you can demonstrate that you can do it, I think that's really all they're looking for.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, because I don't want to have to be held up on one section until, April or May. I'd rather just be able to kind of get it done.
Hey, so here's a story with that. And I've talked to them about that, because we're up here and we have a very short season for videotaping. As long as you're videotaping the things that they're asking you to videotape. So if you have 20 seconds of a beginning lesson, the middle of the lesson, the end of the lesson, and you did it last year indoor, you're fine. As long as what you're submitting is what they're asking for. One of the things that I talk to some of the level ones and is where I'm getting hung up now is, I could have had a lot of this stuff videotaped if I knew what needed to be submitted. I could have got the video and the teaching stuff done prior to doing it. There's stuff that you can do prior, as long as somebody's letting you know going forward. So for example, somebody that's getting in or getting through level 1 and I'm in level 2 now, and that's what's holding me up, is that I need the videotaping stuff for level 2, because I'm done with all the business stuff of it. I could have videotaped this in teaching last year and then been able to submit it. So as long as we communicate with, who's on the level that we're at or the level behind us, saying, hey, you've got time, you're going to need a 5-minute video for level 2, and you're going to need a 5-minute ending, or you're going to need a whatever it is, you can get it done now and then hold it and submit it later so you can move through the program. Otherwise, you're going to get hung up because of snow, because of whatever it is. Tournament operations, if you can take the picture, somebody that's going into level 1, as long as somebody from level 2 is saying, hey, you're going to need these pictures. You're going to need event setup. Take them now. Get them into your portfolio. Hold them, because when you get through level 1, you're going to need this stuff. You're doing it. You're just not at that point yet. You might as well get some of the pictures and stuff done before you get there. So I would highly recommend reaching out to somebody in the level ahead of you and saying, hey, is there stuff that I'm going to need down the road that I'm doing right now in order to move you along and not get holed up? There's nothing wrong with doing it that way, as long as you're getting what they're asking you to get. You'll take the pictures now, and then when you go through the level, you'll say, oh, I see where they're at. I've already taken the pictures. I can get them done, and you can move through the program just a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's an awesome point. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll definitely reach out to you, Ty, because like you said, if you're doing it and you've already done those things, then all of a sudden you're 1 or 2 pictures or videos short. That's a little frustrating. So knowing ahead of time would be huge.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Ty. That's great. And that's why we're on these calls. This is why we've established this association. And I think one of the goals too is to document some of this stuff, Ty, and be able to provide that to our associates for a level 1, level 2, a level 3. It kind of like, hey, pay attention to this, or when you're in level 1, you can use this for level 2. So great stuff. Thank you for sharing. And it's we hope to document that. That's one of our goals and one of our committees. I think in membership and education is to have that stuff. So we do have stuff on our webpage. Have you guys gone and looked to see kind of the outline, the mentoring, how to study for 3.0? So if there's anything that you see that you think that we should add, that you find value in, let us know so we can update that as much as possible, because we want that to be a resource for you if you have any questions, or your supervisor to be able to go and look Nothing against PGA.org. It's an awesome engine, but you have to peel back a lot of layers of the onion to get to what you're really trying to look for. So we're just trying to make this real simple, especially for our associates, just to kind of go right to there and look as well as supervisors as well. Good stuff. Jackie, anything else you wanna add to this, or not to put you on the pedestal
No,
here?
I think what you guys have mentioned right here is great. You know, that's something I worked through my, you know, business schools I was the first class of the GPTP, I think. So I worked through that with a colleague, and that really helped. But you know, you're right. We could have advanced a lot more quickly if we'd have known in advance, you know, things that we needed to kind of be saving up so that we could have put all that together. You know, and we obviously had to submit things on paper, which is not the case now, but yeah, so prepare yourself. And probably the last thing that I would say is, you know, actually just two quick ones, but, you know, as an assistant golf professional somewhere, you typically have a management. I mean, you are managing somebody, you're managing some outside staff, you're managing people that pick the range, or you're doing something. So don't underestimate the importance of leading where you are. Just because you're not the department head or the lead person, you still have people that are going to look up to you. So if you need some resources to help you with those types of things, you know, anything that you can do in that capacity is something that you can point to when you go to interview for that next position, that lead assistant position or that head golf professional position. So don't underestimate those types of things. Take initiative, you know, when you see a need, and fill the need. Work with your supervisor to fill that need. And the other thing is, you're going to see some things that come through your newsletter. And I know when I was a young assistant, I just kind of blew these things off, like the compensation survey. But I would say to you that you all are the most important people to fill those out. We get people at the management level, but we don't have assistant golf professionals that fill those out with regularity. And so if we're going to do our job at the association level and as career services and helping you all make more money and making those entry-level jobs more attractive, we need your input. We need to know what you're making. We need to know how much you're working. We need to know all of those things about the positions that you're working in. So when you see those come across in the newsletters that you get from this section, please, you know, they're short and sweet. So please just take 5 minutes out of your day, fill that in, and that really helps us, me at my level, and then Mike and Greg and Tess and your section staff go to bat for you. So.
Great advice. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, you're spot on there. Aaron Strick, anything you wanna leave us with? Your words of wisdom.
I think this has been an awesome 40 minutes, and I hope everybody took something, just one nugget out of this great meeting. I know I have. You know, just, you know, rely on each other. Like Jackie said, you get through the levels with the people that you know that are in the same boat that you are. So don't be afraid to ask questions. We're all in this together.
Yeah, great advice. We are. I guess I will leave my 2 cents. So that the 2 things I told: always make sure you see everybody that day and know where they are, right? That's kind of my golden nugget. And really work on your network this year, right? So ask yourself, what do you want that network to be? Who do you want that network to be? And make sure you keep in contact with those people. It doesn't necessarily have to be golf driven. It can be people outside that can help, you know. So just think about that, right? As you're starting to build your brand, you're building your network. So I encourage you to just kind of think about that and what direction you want to go. So other than that, wish you guys a great rest of the day, weekend. Sign up for the Teaching and Coaching Summit for associates only. With that being said, though, we have moved the in-person Iowa section Teaching and Coaching Summit, which was supposed to be the 21st, this Monday, to a virtual, which is now going to be the 8th of next month. So you can register for that online. That's free. Brian Newman, Orange Whip Golf and Fitness, is going to be presenting. I believe it's going to be from 9 to probably 12:30. Once again, that's an online education summit. So PGA members and associates can register. If you are an upcoming associate and do not have a number or registered in the PGA, well, we can register you through on our end, or they can register you as a guest, however. So if you have a problem signing up for that, let us know. We certainly will make sure that that is done. A link for that will be sent out probably a day or two prior to that on the 8th. So keep that in mind. Other than that, keep up the hard work. Appreciate all you guys do. Mike Arms, anything you want to send off with?
Well, I'm about to test my titanium new hip in the great state of Texas in a couple of weeks. So everybody hope that this weather is gone so I can go to somewhere warm. But just a final example, when I talk about seeds, some 15 years ago, I was doing golf demos for Cleveland Golf, and I met a professional up at in Geneva who happened to be Aaron Streak. And fast forward, now I'm working with her. So I hope I did put in a good seed when I met her. So you just never know. So keep trying to plant those seeds.
Every day's an interview, right? You never know. Every day's an interview. So make it what you want. Make it what you want. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing everybody soon, hopefully on a golf course with no snow and some sunshine. So everybody take care. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.